headquarters of a brewery. Here's another, where a prosperous grocer warehouses stock and loads carts in a delightful old world setting. And this is the yard of an inn. For picturesqueness, it takes a lot of beating. And here's the backyard of an ordinary house, with a crowded population of domestic animals. In striking contrast to the busy city are the old manor farms belonging to it. They also are goodness only knows how old, with high defensive walls, and gateways once filled with stout oaken doors. Around and beyond them are other scenes, varied, pleasant and pastoral. Always there are mountains in the background, the fabled home of gnomes and witches. Nearer too, wherever one looks, are thick woods, well-tilled fields, and murmuring streams, with contented people busy about the 1,001 tasks of their simple lives. On some lucky day of your wanderings in Pied Piper's country, you're sure to arrive in Goslar, which pleases the geologist because of its unrivaled story told in earth and stone, and delights me for less highbrow reasons. The most obvious is its historic buildings. Notable among them is the old Cloth Workers' Guild Hall, now a hotel, quaintly decked with arches and 8-sided pillars. At right angles to it, and filling one side of the cobbled marketplace, is the 15th century town hall. Goslar is full of choice gems of the builder's art. This detached bell tower is one. Another is the old inn called the Neckcloth, because its high tapering roof seems to the imaginative eye to suggest that article of attire. You tumble across others, dozens and dozens of them, wherever you stroll in the maze of quiet streets and alleys. Here and there you encounter relics of the staunch stone walls that have often defied assault and siege. Set in them are gateways protected by massive towers. In this unpretentious palace, once upon a time, the rulers of the Holy Roman Empire used to live. And in this house was born one of the best-known figures in the industrial life of the world today. A handsome, spacious dwelling it is, with ample living quarters below, roomy lofts that formerly served as storehouses, and a courtyard, sunny and secluded, behind. But for me, the sight of cows walking in and out of the front doors excels the other joys of Goslar. Most families garage one in a shed at the back. Early in the morning, the official custodian parades the town, blowing his horn, whereupon cows step sedately through front doors, take the middle of the street, and stroll quite unattended to the pool that is their rendezvous. From all directions they come, picking up old friends and gossiping like old ladies. So they go forth to pasture, and so at sunset they return. The goats do the same. They also have their own attendant, who walks the streets, blowing the call they know so well. And at once the town is filled with a patter of little hoofs, as the hurrying multitude converges on the fountain which bears their name. When you tear yourself away from that joyous spectacle and take the road again, you find other sights to arouse interest. Every village offers you something worth attention. Picturesque farms and cottages, curious costumes and ways. Hard-working, barefooted women are sharing the burdens that have to be borne and the tasks that must be done. The patient ox is pulling the heavy wagon at its own slow but steady pace. The farmer and his family, dressed in sober homespun, are driving to or from town, or bringing home the cows to be milked. And yoked with his master to a small hand cart, you find man's first friend doing his bit. Market day is a time of bustle and excitement. From everywhere around come those who would sell and those who would buy. They gossip, appraise and bargain. They exchange news and discourse gravely of prices and local politics. And often they're very shy of the stranger and regard the movie man as an impertinent intruder. Leaving them in peace, one carries on, past castles where exalted personages have dwelt, through villages where the medieval gateway still forms the only way in and out, past groups of people hard at work or enjoying well-earned recreation, and in either case ready with a word of greeting and such guidance or information as may be asked for. And so at last to the home of that tall, thin musician of long ago, whose coat was half yellow and half red, concerning which place Browning tells us, Hamelin towns in Brunswick, by famous Hanover city. The river Weser, deep and wide, washes its walls on the southern side, a pleasanter spot you never spied. With that glowing description I heartily agree, for Hamelin has many charming features, and once again, turning into a side street, you walk straight out of the 20th century into the 15th, just as Alice crept through the mirror into Wonderland. You remember the story of the Pied Piper, born in this tall house, how he undertook for 1,000 guilders to free Hamelin from its plague of rats, and then, when the job had been done, was offered 50, and how, stung to revenge, he made up his mind to blow upon his pipe a second time. But ere he had blown 3 notes, there was a rustling, and then small feet were pattering, wooden shoes clattering, little hands clapping and little tongues chattering, and like fowls in a farmyard when barley is scattering, out came the children running. All the little boys and girls with rosy cheeks and flaxen curls, tripping and skipping, ran merrily after the wonderful music, with shouting and laughter. So they came, and the magic piper leading on to Koppelberg Hill his steps addressed, and after him the children pressed. Then lo, as they reached the mountain side, a wondrous portal opened wide, as if a cavern was suddenly hollowed, and the piper advanced, and the children followed. And when all were in, to the very last, the door in the mountainside shut fast. And so ends my story of Pied Piper's country.